Hi and welcome to the Monday Life. A little bit flustered there. We were doing some proofing. Having Alan cleverly had spotted a mistake with the prize lead quiz actually, and so I thought, oh my goodness, I haven't been looking at the proofing, and so I've looked at some of it now. Yes, it's a happy birthday to Helen today. My wife's birthday is indeed Bastille Day, yes. So what am I doing? Well, lots of things going on. We are doing leads at teams, so opening leads, how they might vary. In fact, today we're going to be looking particularly from long suits. On the Fridays, of course, we're doing the strong overcalls soon. We've got our 5-level decision as usual, and we will have the bidding quiz at the end. In terms of what's going on at the site, and with us, well, pretty exciting really. We are now ATOL registered, so we have an ATOL license. So that means we can move on. Okay, that means we can move on. What do I mean by that? Well, it means that we can launch our own holidays and be responsible for them, and hopefully, well, I would hope that that's going to be a better thing for everybody concerned, and hopefully bring the prices down and do all sorts of things. So that is exciting. We will be releasing the holidays very soon. Obviously we have to have all of the databases and all sorts of things that I've got no idea about have to be ready, so just give us a moment. Please register, of course. We've told you where we're going. We might be able to give you more specifics this week, we will see, but it's yes, definitely an exciting time. And in fact, I am myself going on a holiday. Well, it's a bridge cruise, but I'm going with my family. So that will mean that there won't be lives for a patch of time, about a week and a half. And then I'll do a recording for the second teams that I'm missing. So I'm missing one teams, which I won't do anything because we'll just regard it as a holiday. But the second one I will record something. And that's at the end of this month, 25th of July, which of course coincides with the end of the school year, as it were, as you can imagine. So yeah, we will be going to the Azores, so I'll be glad if some of you are coming. We've got a nice party on, so it should be some fun, and Helen will be pleased that it'll be nice and warm, I would have thought, down there once we get there. Fair few days at sea, so I'll be working hard anyway. Yeah, so exciting times. Not only that, you've obviously got all the norm. We've still been selling. We've launched a new holiday in Wales. We've got a new holiday in Wales, which is lovely. And in fact, we are going to stay there the day before the cruise, because we thought it was nice and close to Liverpool, as it were. So we're going to stay in Llandudno to see that venue. So do look into that. That is next year, sorry, in September, I think. No, it's April. It's April. There you go. Well, there's one in April, one in September. I'm not sure. Yes, there we go. There's an early bird offer. Just ignore me. And the various things. We're also promoting Denim again, because they are working hard for us. So obviously I know we've been at Denim for a long time, but they are making an effort to upgrade things for us so that we will have the wine, as it were, and we will also have a sit-down meal on the second day where they will serve us, and they are trying, since they are under new management, they are trying to impress us. So we'd love you to come back and try it again. The bridge facilities have always been brilliant, of course, there. But we are hopeful that things will have improved for us and that you will see that improvement. So please do come to Denham again and give it a go. And of course we're there over the festive period, etc. So be good to see you there. All right, so I think we're 5-level deciding. So let's have a look at this. Now this is an exotic auction. So let's see how it goes. Now, we're covering strong bids in our Friday Live, so let's have a look at this. It goes 1 club. West, your partner, bids 2 clubs, which you alert as showing both majors. North bids 3 clubs though, so you don't have to bid. And my inclination, given that we are vulnerable against not here, my inclination would be to pass at this point. So I'm sorry if you wanted to bid, but I don't want to encourage my partner with this vulnerability. Now, South's bid here is alerted. I don't know exactly what that means. We're going to have to guess. And then your partner bid 4 diamonds. And then it went 5 clubs. So it's now going to be your bid. We've got to sort all of this out. It's non-vulnerable opponents and you are vulnerable. Non-vulnerable opponents, east, west, vulnerable. So you haven't really made a bid yet. Everybody else has been very active and you've got to decide what to do in this auction. Remember, the only thing you know, obviously, is that your partner has shown both majors. Okay, that's what 2 clubs shows. I think South's 3 diamond bid is probably showing genuine strength in diamonds and actually trying for better things from his partner. So it's your decision. These decisions cost a lot of money, as it were. So you've got to decide what to do over 5 clubs. In many ways, you've got to try and work out what's in your partner's hand. See if you can. So good luck with that one. We will revisit that after our little seminar. So let's go for it. So a reminder of the topic. We are making opening leads at teams. And again, I'll take a little excerpt from the seminar and then add a little bit to it. So teams of 4, your defensive aims. So what you've got to remember is that you don't mind giving away the odd overtrick. Your basic aim is to defeat a contract. It's very rare that you're worried about an overtrick, and that means you've sort of got to attack. If you think your opponents are going to make unless something very favourable happens, well then aim for that favourable thing to happen. Quite often, for example, we're going to be talking about 5-card suits. If you think they're pretty strong, you're probably going to need to develop a suit between the 2 of you. Either it needs to be your suit or it needs to be partner's suit. So you might either gamble looking for your partner's suit or lead away from an honour in your suit. Again, though, it would need to be 5 cards to be realistic and you'd need to have an entry to it. So, you know, you've got to be sensible. There's no point just giving tricks away, but at the same time, you know, I love to go for it if I can. So take risks to try to defeat the contract. And we, as I say, we're going to be doing much more aggressive leads. Most of the time at pairs, if I don't give a trick away, I'm happy. At teams, you want to develop tricks. You're taking the risk. Giving away a trick, you're not happy, but you're not super unhappy. You think, well, they were going to make it anyway. Every so often, maybe you've given the contract away, but that's your assessment. For the most part, quite often I'm thinking, well, they're going to make this contract most of the time. I'm prepared to gamble to see if I can take it down. Okay, now we looked at what we thought of as aggressive leads last week. Okay, what we're going to do here, well, we'll do the first bit here, but we're going to be thinking about suits. So your aim is to find a way to defeat the contract. Doubleton leads are the ones that always sticks out for me because you'll hear me say no, no, no when I'm talking about pairs. Okay, whereas at teams it will tend to be yes, 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 and that's one of the big ones. Leading away from honours, again, that's allowed. You're allowed to be optimistic. Again, though, don't just be over optimistic, you know, because if you give tricks away when you're not really actually trying to develop a trick, that's a different matter, you know. So but your type of lead does depend on the auction. We saw that last week as well. We looked at some auctions where they have limited themselves. If they are very much a limited hands and they finish in 3 no trumps, well, very often they'll actually take themselves off. So there you don't need to take the risk. Okay, so let's talk about leading suits. So what do I mean by this? Well, particularly, for example, and this part I'll take from the seminar and then we'll look at extended a little bit more. When you've bid a suit, okay, when you've bid a suit and your opponents bid no trumps, What are you thinking? So, if you have not got an outside entry, there's two choices you can have. So often this will mean you've maybe done a weak jump overcall or a weak 2 opening or something like that. There are two choices you could choose, and it depends on the texture of your suit, if that makes any difference. Assuming you've got a reasonably strong suit. If you've got a reasonably strong suit, you're hoping perhaps to take them down. So, sorry, you're hoping perhaps to make the contract, to make the suit, apologies. So what is the best way of making the suit? Is it to let partner get the lead later and lead that suit to you? Or perhaps you've got some lovely high cards in it, but leading a low one to start to let the opponents have their trick. Now, the key that what we're saying here is that we are generally going to trust our opponents, and that is generally going to be the best thing to do. If you open in, I don't know, a weak 2 in spades and they bid 3 no trumps, it is not unreasonable to expect the no trump bidder to have a stopper. So you therefore plan with respect to that. Okay, and that's going to be really important because it does mean they can trick us. If they're prepared to gamble, bidding 3 no trumps with a small doubleton in spades, where we can take the first 6 off, it might work out for them. But bear in mind, I will be leading high quite a lot of the time as well. Okay, particularly, of course, if you've got an entry. That's the difference. If I've got king, queen, jack to 6, and maybe a king or an ace outside, I just lead the king and I've got the ace, because there's no problem there. It's when you haven't got an entry. That's always interesting. Okay, so this is a classic hand, a lovely 2-spade opener. Okay, it runs around to south, who bids 2 no trumps, and north then bids 3 no trumps. Now, it's your lead, and it's quite an interesting lead. I think north in this auction, with a void or a singleton spade, might say, partner, are you sure you've got a spade stopper? So I think your partner's going to be short in spades a lot of the time here, maybe only got 1. Could be void, don't get me wrong, and if it's void, it's unfortunate if we don't choose a spade lead, but I think I'm going to play my partner to have 1 or 2 spades, and if partner's got 1 or 2 spades, I think it's going to be best if partner's on lead. Now, if south has 4 spades, we may well not be able to develop the contract, develop the suit, apologies. If south's got 4 and partner's got 2, a low lead would work. But I think it's much more likely that north doesn't have a singleton. What do I mean by that? I think if north's got a singleton, north might bid 3 spades in this auction to say, are you sure? Obviously, some of you may have different meanings for that 3-spade bid here. Okay, but you might, 3 spades might say, are you sure? And if south's got queen to 4, south goes 3 no trumps again. But if south's only got queen to 3, maybe south might contemplate, trying a minor or something like that. So for me, I'd be tempted to lead a non-spade here, hoping that partner can come back. Is it worth the risk against playing pairs? You might lead a heart, let's say, I will choose the unbid major is what I'm likely to bid here, lead. Playing pairs, it's a close call here. I don't mind leading possibly a heart in pairs as well, but it's much more risky. Playing teams, I think we need my spades to come in. So I'm going to play a heart. Okay, clearly if you play the ace, king of spades off, assuming south is bidding sensibly, you're not going to make those spades. I think my best bet is hoping that partner's got 1 or 2 and maybe south's got 3 to the queen, possibly 3 to the queen 10. And if I let partner get the lead at some point, and there's a fair chance partner will get the lead, remember we've only got 8 points, then of course a spade through will defeat declare. Okay, so I would choose the 7 of hearts here. And as I say, this one's from the seminar, relatively straightforward. Your partner wins the ace of hearts and will switch to a spade. And of course, I think it's great bidding. Don't get me wrong. You're going to take, I know it goes 3 off and you're going to laugh, but actually a lot of people will either lead the ace of spades or they'll lead a low spade or something like that. And if you don't lead a non-spade, of course, the opponents will make quite comfortably. On the ace of spades lead, it's 3 no trumps plus 1. Okay, because declarer can just develop their tricks and end up on a diamond or club lead. It turns out declarer can take 8 tricks and may well take those 8 tricks and then end up going one off. But I mean, the unbid major seems reasonable. That's where they're unlikely to be long. I mean, in a way, it is much of a muchness, but here, that's what I would choose. Okay, so relatively straightforward, but it's going to be different each type of hand. I think here you may well choose the same lead playing against in a pairs contract here. You know, it's not a completely unreasonable lead leading the unbid major and hoping here. Notice though, if you happened, I mean, if I move the ace of hearts to the ace of diamonds instead, and let's say it's less likely that North's going to have the 4-card suit, but I mean, it is a possibility. Anyway, let's move on to the comparison here, because this is interesting. So different type of suit here, isn't it? So it goes 1 spade, double from North, 2 no trumps, sorry, from South, and then 3 no trumps from North. So different type of auction, and a different type of suit. And again, this one, as I say, from the big seminar. And this is a very, very big difference between the two types. If you are playing in a pairs game here, you cannot take the risk that I'm going to take here. For me, though, they've bid confidently to 3 no trumps. South will have a stopper here. His partner has asked him to bid a suit. Why would South lie here and not bid a suit if he didn't have at least Jack to 4 spades? I would expect South a lot of the time here to have Jack 10 to 4 spades and his partner to have a single. Now, of course, he might have 5 spades, okay, in which case my plan won't work. But I think it's not unreasonable to think that a lot of the time that you know, South is going to have Jack 10 to 4 with about 10 or 11 points, bids 2 no trumps and partner bids 3 no trumps. Great contract. Playing pairs, I'm going to play the ace king queen of spades off here, and you know, hopefully partner can tell me what to lead next, and we might keep them to exactly 3 no trumps. And I'll give you 2 layouts, because I'm going to take the gamble playing teams. In teams, I think I want to make 4 spade tricks rather than 3. I don't think I can make 5. I am making that judgment. So what I'm hoping here is, most of the time, remember, North will often have a singleton spade, perhaps a doubleton, but I think it's not unreasonable to hope partner's got 2 here. So I am going to lead a low spade and then hope that my partner has an entry somewhere, not unreasonable, and then he will be able to lead a spade back to us. Okay, so I feel to get this contract down, we are probably going to need to make 4 spade tricks plus our partner's high card. Okay, does that make sense? So here I will gamble on the 6 of spades leads. I think that's a perfectly reasonable gamble. It's not something I would do playing pairs. You just can't afford it, because most of the time 3 no trumps is making here. Okay, and if you lead a low spade, it's probably going to get an extra over trick, okay, because they're going to have lots of cards everywhere else and you're going to look a bit silly. Okay, so I mean, let's look at the hand. Here is the hand your partner has. Nice auction from your opponent. Relatively straightforward, really. North's got a 13 count, doubles for takeout. His partner bids 2 no trumps, completely natural. And North bids 3 no trumps. Okay, if we lead the ace, king, queen of spades, clearly we never make our last spade. And we only make 4 tricks. But if we lead a low spade, when the opponents lead knock out the ace of hearts, then our partner will lead spades. I think North might have bid Stayman here. I probably should have alternated the suits a little. I think probably, oh no, sorry, it was a double. It was a double. He's already shown hearts. Apologies. No, not at all. I'm thinking about a hand I was looking at about 5 minutes before this thing. So yes, a small spade lead gets it down, doesn't it? It's an interesting one. So it defeats the contract with this layout. Is this that likely? It's okay, but partner might not even have an entry. So what you're doing here, let's say I make the ace of hearts the queen of hearts. Okay, well, they're clearly going to make lots of over tricks, and leading a low spade gives them even more over tricks. But I don't mind that playing teams, okay? Playing pairs, every trick counts. Playing teams, my job is to get this contract down. So I play a low spade, they have to knock out the ace of hearts at some point, and my partner still has a spade to lead for me to take the contract down, okay? So 3 no trumps -1. If we change the hand, here it is, okay? So again, same auction, double, clearly south in response to double, you could bid diamonds, but with a spade stopper, surely no trumps is better. So you jump to 2 no trumps seems reasonable. And again, north would bid 3 no trumps. So it's a nice auction. And to be honest, given that West has opened the bidding, it's, you know, you may declare, may well take a club finesse here and end up making 5 diamond tricks, 3 club tricks and 2 heart tricks. That is 10 on a small spade lead. That could end up being 11. And bearing in mind you'll have a lot of cards to discard on the diamonds, declarer might have a fair idea what's going on. So if you let a low spade here playing pairs, you'd look really silly. Okay, I think they'd make 3 no trumps +2, but of course at teams that's just 1 imp. If you lead the ace king queen off, okay, it's 3 no trumps +1. At pairs, that's important. So at pairs, you're going to lead the ace king queen here, and declarer will make 10 tricks. Okay. At teams, though, of course, we're leading the 6 of spades. So understanding the aggressive, so that the 6 of spades is a really aggressive lead. It is saying, I am trying to get this down. Here, it won't work. On the previous layout, because partner did have an ace, it did work. And that is the difference. Most of the time it's only going to be 1 trick. Every so often you'll end up giving 2 tricks away. But again, that's only 2 imps. Remember, a game swing can be worth as much as 10, 11, 12 points. 1 over trick is just 1 point. So playing teams, we go for it. Playing pairs, we tend to play safe. For me, this is just the ace, king, queen. Okay, and partner might give you a signal if he's got something. Okay, so let's finish off this little chat about long suits. Bear in mind that declarer is trying, will usually have a stopper in your suit and is expecting the lead. So you don't have to lead it. And of course, if your suit is rubbish, then by all means lead something else. But if your suit's strong, then just go ahead and lead it. That's important. I see a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to lead that suit, etc., etc. But if you've got the entries, for the most part, you've got to lead. However, if you're weak and your suit's weak, by all means try something else, but try to be realistic. Okay, now playing pairs, be a little bit careful. Okay, so let's try a simple one here. Now, I don't mind. Clearly, this is a dubious opening. Let's say you're non-vulnerable against vulnerable. You decide to open 2 spades. Okay. You don't have to, but you did today. You were feeling frisky, and you finish in 3 no trumps. The king is in the right place if we don't lead it. Are we likely to make this suit? Well, there is a possibility that our ace of diamonds might not be knocked out first. So I suppose there is a chance, but I think a lot of the time, given how bad your spade suit is, a lot of the time your opponents will have 3 stoppers in the suit anyway. So you might find that south has ace, queen, small, and north has the jack as well, and you lead a spade and partner's got a singleton. For me, I think the most likely way of getting this contract down is to find partner's suit. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to try and find partner's suit here. So this is a new hand. What would I lead? Playing pairs, this is really interesting. You'd almost want a passive lead at pairs. So you might choose a club just to try to avoid giving things away. But for me, playing teams, I want to give myself the best chance of getting this contract down. Now, I would expect partner to have a lot of hearts here, but how likely is my 7 of hearts singleton lead going to be to get the contract down? Your partner will be fighting by himself. Give him 5 hearts, even to the ace jack. What good is that? He only gets one lead from us, and the chances are, remember, one of the opponents are going to have 4, and so the chances are, you know, you're going to need such a strong holding in hearts from partner that it seems unlikely. However, in diamonds, we don't need so much at all. You're hoping to hit 4 or 5 diamonds, and if partner's honour's in the right place, who knows? You might be able to develop his suit. So here, I'm not going to lead a spade. And playing teams, I'm going to be aggressive. Playing pairs, I would probably try to be passive. So I don't mind a diamond lead at pairs. Heart is, I feel it's overly aggressive because very often it'll swallow your partner's suit. You know, queen jack to 5 or queen 10 to 5, and declarer might make an extra trick from it. I prefer a sort of club lead here. But against teams, it's going to be the 3 of diamonds. I'm going to lead low as well, so partner can get me back on lead. Now, there you go. I've given your partner better hearts than diamonds, but of course we've got something in diamonds to help him. It's not always going to work, and I would feel leading away from your ace is overly aggressive at pairs, and you'll often give a trick away. So I might not have got this down, this contract playing pairs. I'm more likely perhaps to lead a spade or, no, probably a club, as I say. Doesn't give anything away, a club lead. Of course, it's not gaining anything either. What's interesting is a spade lead goes to the jack and queen, but of course your partner can't lead a spade again. That's the disadvantage of that. And so you'll give declarer the queen of spades, but when you get on lead again, you won't be able to play a spade safely because the 10 of spades might make him dummy. Yep, so you can see, obviously I can set that hand easily enough, but the idea is what we're talking about. So when you've bid a suit and you are trusting your opponents for having a stopper, remember they only have to have one stopper here. So if I've got a decent suit here, if I've got king, queen to 6 and the ace of diamonds, I'm thinking, yep, I'm going to go for this. And yes, clearly they might have a double stopper, but you know, you've got to try, you know, because you've got an entry as well. Without an entry, again, you might be looking for partner's suit. Okay, so here, you've led a diamond, hoping partner's got it. Here it would go, declarer will probably play small, partner will win the queen, will play the ace and knock out the jack of diamonds. There is a stopper, diamond stopper there, but of course your partner's got the entry, and that's the key. That's what you expected, partner to have an entry outside. Okay, and so you'll probably get it 1 off. Okay. So how about this one to finish with? You open a spade and it goes around to south. Usually we'd expect south to probably have 11 to 14 points for that. And that's the end of the auction. Oof. I would say, I'm going to be honest here, I think I'm probably going to make the same lead at both here. But I wanted to give this as a contrast for the opening leads. I think the key here is any lead's going to be risky. You're expecting partner to have a Yarborough. You know, why shouldn't South have the ace queen doubleton spade, for example? Perfectly reasonable stopper. Bearing in mind, South's not showing a huge hand here. It's in the protective seat, the 1-no trump bid. I think you're going to be on lead a lot anyway. You've got so many entries. So, you know, I think the 6 of spades is a sensible lead at any kind of bridge. And there are times you might even get the contract off by knocking out 3 spade stoppers. The key is your partner's not going to get the lead to lead spades to you anyway. And in the end, I'm sure you'll be end played to lead a spade if you don't lead them. So if you choose to lead ace, 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 for example, eventually declarer might lose a spade to you and force you to lead one back or something like that. Okay, so yeah, just a normal spade lead here, and that's of course the thing. If you think you've got all the entries, you've got to take control. So here it turns out to be ace jack doubleton, but it's pretty much similar, and it turns out you can get the contract down because of course you knock out the jack of spades, you knock out the ace of spades, and eventually your king then drops the queen and you'll take it along. Question there was, does South have to have a spade stopper? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, Shirley. Are you telling me that they are telling beginners to bid no trumps without stoppers in suits? Oh my goodness, that's extraordinary, isn't it? That surprises me. My goodness me, I'll have to have a closer look at what they're teaching people then. That is frightening, because that's clearly not what you should be teaching beginners. Beginners need to have basics, which are to bid no trumps. You need to have a stopper. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's really strange. So I'll have to look that one up, Shirley, or someone else can look it up. That is strange. There are times when experts will choose, or more experienced players will choose to think, surely this is the best bid for me. But it certainly shouldn't be in a role for beginners. Beginners should be always having a stop there. Here you can see that South. Here you can see that South could bid 2 clubs, but with the ace jack of spades, 1 no trump feels a more descriptive bid. And as you can see, North with 13, I think it's reasonable to go straight to 3 no trumps. And I hope this is a straightforward lead, but I just, there's no good me telling you not to lead the suits and not giving you an example of where leading is right. And of course, you've got all the entries. Your partner has 3 10s, and that's more than we expected him to have in a way. De Clare will very quickly knock out the ace of clubs, but he needs to lock out another entry. So, and this shows the power of aces, doesn't it? North, South don't have enough aces. They don't have enough control. Yeah, it may well be referring to an opening 1 no trump, but we will look. And, maybe they're just trying to say, look, with 12 to 14 points in the final seat. I mean, talking about protective no trumps is quite unusual as well, I would have thought, in a beginner's book. So you may well be right, John. So there we go. That's talking about opening leads. Some of those you'll make the same, and that's important. Sometimes it is. But I would say probably maybe 30% of the time, 30% of the time you might make a different lead. Okay, so it's not going to be always. There'll be times where, for example, the passive-aggressive leads, as it were, King, Queen, Jack, King from King, Queen, Jack, Ace from Ace, King, Trump leads, those are going to be similar in both. And in fact, when I talk, I've just been finalising my Greed Ober seminar, which is defending against part scores. We talk about a lot about leading trumps there. And as both an aggressive lead, but also as a passive lead. And therefore, that will mirror the leads quite often at teams. I say that, when they're in a part score at the 2 level, you're thinking, well, they're going to make that, aren't they? So you get aggressive. So it is different, still different there. But there are some really subtle leads you can find, though, because remember, playing teams, your job's to try and get the contract down. So if sometimes you will want to make 4 tricks out of your 5-card suit, so you sacrifice, particularly that from Ace, King, Queen, that lead. Very unusual. In fact, it's quite often it's one of the humorous leads where a beginner will lead 4th highest from the Ace, King, Queen. Of course, De Clare will make the Jack and run home with 10 tricks. But actually, it's a good lead if you trust your opponents, assuming you've bid them. Remember, if you haven't bid spades, it's important. That's very different. If the bidding goes 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, there's no reason to think they've got a spade stopper at all. 1 no trump doesn't promise 1, nor does 3 no trump. So if you've got Ace, King, Queen to 5 there, you'll just plonk the Ace, King, Queen off, both at teams and pairs. But if you've bid a suit, that is the key. That is the key. Okay. Where are we going now? We are going to our 5-level decisions. So let's go to that. So let's go through this auction and see how we feel about it. So 1 club, natural by South. 2 clubs, you alert as showing 5-5 at least in the majors. 3 clubs from North, doesn't show much. Non-vulnerable against vulnerable, remember. You pass, and I think that's the right bid here. 3 hearts when you're vulnerable here in a competitive auction is dangerous. It is dangerous because you haven't got a 9-card fit. Okay, admittedly, you've got 2 honours, and we're going to be talking about those in a moment. You pass, keeping partner quiet. 3 diamonds from South. I think it's just showing strength in diamonds and long clubs and saying, partner, look, I'm interested. 4 diamonds from West, I would alert that as well as non-natural. Partner still has both majors. So what on earth is partner doing? Remember, your partner is vulnerable here. Your partner is committing to play at the 4 level opposite a Yarborough. Okay, and that is crucial here. he expects to be close to making. You don't make sacrifices. So there are two types of hand your partner can have for this. Okay, either a super strong 5-5 hand, which is absolutely fine, but I'd be expecting to have most of the high cards in those suits. Okay, or he is 6-6. Okay, believe you me, your partner should have all of the guns to back it up. You are looking at two of the most gorgeous cards you can imagine. Angela said the golden cards, they are gorgeous. Your partner should have them. I'm expecting partner to have ace, king, queen to 5 spades, ace, king, queen to 5 hearts, but he hasn't got them. He's missing the king of spades and the queen of hearts. They are absolutely gorgeous. Of course, partner could be 6-6, and again, those are gorgeous cards, and you could have solid suits, but also your partner could have an ace in the minors. Remember, you are allowed to count high cards in the short suits in a strong hand, and this is what we talked about actually on last Friday. So I'm placing partner with 16, 17 high card points in the suits, and he must have an ace outside here. Okay. Why did partner bid 4 diamonds or 4 clubs? Not exactly sure. I'd expect partner to have probably here. It's either a void diamond or the ace of diamonds for me here. Okay, that's the way I would play it here in this auction. So 4 diamonds would probably show the ace of diamonds. I would expect 4 clubs here would either be the ace of clubs or a void. Okay, but for me it's just a 5 heart bid. I mean, I'm going to bid, let's look at we can look at the hands, but I'll show you what I would bid 5 hearts here. I'm not trying for a slam or anything, but I'm bidding. Partner knows I'm limiting, but I'm not doubling or anything like that. So there's your partner's hand. What does he do? He has a spectacular hand. And I think it's reasonable for him to bid 4 diamonds here, to say he's got that card. Rather than 4 clubs, but West wants to play in 4 of a major. He doesn't want to play in 5 of a major, unless of course we've got 2 important cards for him, and that's the key here. You have the dream cards for your partner. He does not expect to have 11 tricks off the top, does he? Okay, so you can see here it's quite spectacular to have, as I say, 11 tricks off the top. So it doesn't matter what your opponents lead, you're clearly going to make, well, it does, they've got to lead a club, which I'm assuming they will, but after the club lead, you're going to make a comfortable 11 tricks. That's 650. And of course, on hands like this, your opponents will make a lot of tricks. You'll make the 4 tricks you can see, the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts, and the ace king of spades. But that is only 2 off in 5 clubs, 300 points. Whether your opponents get to 6 clubs, well done them if they do, but at least 6 clubs is worth 500 to us rather than 300. Okay, I think the opponents have done pretty well here, so they may try and settle for 5 hearts, hoping it goes off. I often, if I force my opponents to the 5 level, I'm pretty happy that we've made it difficult for them. Okay, but it is difficult to judge here. As I say, 6 clubs is just going to lose 4 tricks. I know that seems crazy going 3 off, but 6 clubs doubled minus 3 only costs 500 as opposed to 650 in hearts. Or spades for that matter. I think you'll just about get home in spades as well. Okay, so cards in your partner's suit when your partner shows a 2-suited hand are just wonderful cards. Partner could also have had a similar hand without the ace of diamonds if partner was at least 6-5 or 6-6. Okay, and they do come up, these hands, and all you do is show a 2-suiter and show it again. Here on Friday we talked about this hand. What you were going to do is wait for partner's response. So let's say North chose not to bid 3 clubs. If it had gone 1 club, 2 clubs, pass from North, 2 hearts, West was planning to jump to 4 hearts, and that shows a hand that's got the equivalent of 20 full points, as or total points. And again, you know, your East in let's say it went very slowly to 5 clubs. So let's say North didn't bid on the first round. I mean, if I undo, I can go back there. Let's do the auction where, let's say North, and some of you wouldn't bid with the North hand, so let's say you pass. It goes now 2 hearts, of course East has to bid. Let's say South bids 3 clubs here, thinking I've got 6 of them, I'm non-vulnerable, I want to show them. West jumps to 4 hearts. I don't mind a Q bid here, because it is so powerful. So you might just bid 4 clubs. Partner, I'm bidding game by myself. Remember, East has shown nothing. Now I think North would bid 5 clubs. And again, I think East can get this right. Okay, remember, he's shown nothing. West hasn't just bid game. West has bid a Q bid. I think with the King of Spades and the Queen of Hearts in your hand, you can actually bid 5 hearts here. But it's not easy to judge. And as I say, well done North-South if they bid on to 6 clubs. But in the long run, you'll generally find pushing your opponent to the 5 level is usually enough on hands like this. Clearly playing teams, there's not much difference between 500 and 650. But playing pairs, no doubt about it. 6 clubs doubled -3 is a really good score. And of course, some of them will push to slam. Who knows? East has bid hearts twice here. Maybe West will be tempted to bid a slam. And obviously, if he does, it's not going to make. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. Let's have a look at the bidding quiz before I go. So there we go. Yes, the prize quiz, apologies for that. Those of you who did it early, it was slightly wrong, but we have corrected it now. We had to turn around the auction and change it. Here, we've had this theme going, haven't we? 1 diamond from South, 1 heart overcall, pass, 1 no trump. So you chose 1 heart. Now you're non-vulnerable. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Okay, so you clearly had a choice of jumping to 2 hearts for a weak jump overcall. You've got to try and decide whether your hand is too good for that or not. For me, non-vulnerable, I would be worried that my hand is too good, as in my partner might, it may well be our hand. So take the Queen of Spades away, a classic weak jump overcall. With the Queen Doubleton Spade, I would feel I just want to say I've got a decent hand here. So you bid 1 heart and partners bid 1 no trump. Now you've got to choose what to do next. Okay. So sorry if you wanted to make a weak jump overcall of 2 hearts, but I forced you to bid a 1 heart bid on the first round. So good luck with that. Remember, you can see the answer both as a member or a non-member on the website. So lots going on. Please do register with us. Remember, all our holidays are available to anybody at all, so whether you're a member or not, and so do join us if you're not a member as well. Remember, we are thinking I'm going to hopefully link with some bridge clubs soon for Monday Live. So if you have a bridge, just a member of any bridge club, you don't have to do anything. I mean, obviously the idea is you invite some of your fellow members to watch the Monday Live or whatever, and we will feature your bridge club. And all we'll do is mention it, hopefully give someone at your club who's not been a member before a free subscription for a month, and we'll maybe take a hand. If you've got a hand that you're interested, which was interesting at your club, send it in. And that's what we'll try and do. That will be in the autumn time. We'll start it going. I haven't decided yet, but please do get in contact if you fancy doing that. So thanks for your company and see you again soon. Wednesday as usual for the teams, Friday as usual for the live.